So we are now recording. Welcome everybody. We do have a awesome keynote presentation planned today. But before we get to that, Chris, would you like to take the floor and give us the national update?
Sure. Thanks, Scott. It's good to see everyone again. I'll try to be fairly brief here, but there's a few things going on. So this week, we saw the Finance Committee's pre-budget report come out, and it was great to see FIC on page 82, I believe it was, with all the recommendations laid out very nicely. So again, it was great to see Scott was able to make that appearance in December, and the Finance Committee report has reflected that meeting, and the recommendations from FIC are in there. So that is definitely a good thing. As many of you know, the Finance Department is also doing a separate consultation, and that actually closes today. And I know that FIC has put in their pre-budget submission for that process as well. And again, any Canadian, any business can participate in that. So if you haven't had a chance yet, go on Finance Canada and you can participate right there. And it's a very quick questionnaire that you can do as well. And the more fitness facilities who are able to do that, I believe will carry weight for our pre-budget ask. We had a good letter come in support of the Prescription to Get Active program from MP Pulowski, who's also a doctor from Thunder Bay. Scott and Tricia met with him a couple weeks ago, and he was quite taken with that program. So he has written a letter of support on that went to both the health minister and the finance minister. And FIC has had some great engagement with the finance minister's office to date. I will let Sarah speak a bit more to this. She's had some really good engagement with the finance minister's British Columbia representative. And over the next couple of weeks, the focus for FIC will be to continue to massage that relationship through what Sarah has been able to do, and also continue to move that up the chain with hopefully another meeting with the minister and or some of her more senior staff to talk specifically about the medical exemption that Sarah can talk about that she put in the window last time she met with the finance minister. So that is a bit of a nutshell of what's been going on and where we'll be going over the next couple of weeks. And I don't see Sarah. Scott, I'm sure
I am here.
Oh, there she is. Okay.
Yes, I am here. Sarah. I just don't have my video on because I have a swollen eye this morning, and none of you would want to see me look that way. Trust me. So you're just gonna have to hear my voice. And sorry, there is background noise where I am. Can you guys hear me okay, Chris?
Yep.
Yeah?
Yeah, you can hear fine.
Good. So yeah, as Chris mentioned, I had a meeting this week with the officer of the Deputy Prime Minister, and it was, again, a really positive meeting and a few kind of key takeaways that I'll share with you guys that I think are just really important for us to celebrate as a win as this whole coalition that has come together across Canada. Is that her office actually said that as a fitness industry and as the Fitness Industry Council of Canada, we have spoken with more high-level people in the Deputy Prime Minister's office, group, and influencers than almost any other industry. And she said that usually it takes years to do that, and we have done this in what she said a few short months. And again, she really said that the specificity and the power of our ask is tremendous, and she was very excited about it. I always try to create personal connections with people when I'm speaking to them, and she had made some small notes about her own fitness, and so I made sure to have really good conversations with her around that. It's great when you're talking to somebody who is physically active every day. It's just they believe in our cause that much more. So she asked some great questions. Scott and I have some modeling to do and to follow up with her office. But the beautiful part of it is that the conversation continues, and the conversation continues based on their request, not on me saying, can we please talk again? Can we please be friends? Can we please do this? They're saying, we would like to see this information. We would like to have this data. We would like to have these recommendations. And again, her enthusiasm behind it was evident. And so I feel very positive about it, but I think we all have to celebrate the fact that she is saying that our industry is being heard and that we are strong and that we have created more traction in the last couple months. Like she said, it's absolutely tremendous, the names that I can drop to her, that she goes, most people don't even know those names. So so good on you, Chris, good on Scott, Trisha, everyone who is participating in this. It makes my job easier when I go and talk to them. But really, I think a big win there, and we will continue to forge ahead.
And if you're, driving to work on Monday, or you're listening to the CBC morning show across the country, Sarah and I are getting up at 2:30 in the morning Pacific time, or 3:30 Alberta time, to do interviews across the country. So we're going to need a lot of coffee. So anyways, all right. Thank you, Sarah. And, great job with those meetings. And you're such an eloquent speaker and really delivering our message. So appreciate everything you're doing.
Thank you.
Natalie, would you like
Yes.
to present our partnership and talk about what's happening today?
Absolutely. Afternoon, everybody, or morning for those of us that are still in the morning. So you remember that as part of our restructuring of the focus of the FIC calls into 2021, we were alternating between both national calls and provincial calls. And this is a very popular national call, so I'm glad so many of you are there, as well as update calls going through every single province, and some focused more on growth, learning, development, education, these mastering opportunities of the incredible people that we have on board to be able to do that. And one of the pieces that's come up a lot as a request from our wonderful members was support with relaunch. Relaunch seems to be in a lot of places where our focus is and where we want to be able to help grow that. And thankfully, we have a fantastic partner in CanFit Pro that has agreed to get us at least once a quarter, we'll keep talking, at least once a quarter, grab us phenomenal presenters from all around the world to be able to bring the learning, education, development, and growth that you seek. And so I will hand it over to our dear friend Mo, who's the COO of CanFit Pro and a provincial council member of FIC representing Ontario, who's the lead on our National Health and Fitness Day initiatives that we just finished. And in her spare time, I don't know if Mo's ever had, I've known Mo for about 30 years. I don't know if she's ever had a minute of that, but in her spare time has found a phenomenal presenter for today. And so I'll leave it up to Mo to introduce Sean.
Thank you, Natalie. Thanks, Scott. And thanks, Sarah, for that great update. It certainly is a nice way to finish a week. Yes, I have the privilege of introducing to you today our featured speaker. And it is a perfect opportunity for us on this subject matter. And I want to thank Sean for getting up at the hour he has risen from Sydney, Australia, to present this afternoon. So our subject matter is Don't Call It a Comeback, How to Rebuild Your Fitness Business Stronger Than Ever in 2021. So I'd love to introduce Sean Greeley from NPE, who has been a long-standing and great partner at CanFit Pro. Sean Greeley is the founder and CEO of NPE, has an unrelenting passion for empowering fitness businesses owners to grow their business and create the life they want. Since 2006, NPE has helped over 45,000 fitness professionals and business owners in over 96 countries grow from 0 to 6, 7, and 8 figures. NPE has been featured or listed 8 times on the Inc. 500 and 5,000 list of fastest growing companies. And this is a global team with offices in Los Angeles, London, and Sydney. So coming to all of us this afternoon, let's give, as Carl has taught us so fondly as Canadians, let's give Sean a wonderful welcome. Thank you, Sean, for being here.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Mo. And great to see you guys. Yeah, whoever was speaking about getting up early for the radio show, I can relate. I'm up early. I'm actually on the Gold Coast in Australia. For those of you who've made it down here or know the area, I'm American. I grew up in New England. I spent 20 years living in Florida. I competed in professional wakeboarding for several years, and then I've been living in Los Angeles the last few years. My wife is from Australia. And we flew to Australia on March 1, thinking we were going to be here for a 3-week family holiday and to do some work with our customers and my team down here. And we haven't left. So we're still in Australia. Fortunately, it's a great, safe place to be. And we're riding this thing out here. We have a little one, and he's almost 2, our son. And there's daycare here. There's grandma, so it's it's a lot better place to be than as much as we love Los Angeles and the Palisades. It's a better spot to be right now. So very excited to be with you guys and just share some insights. As Mo said, our company supports really everybody from different segments of the industry, from startup to 6, 7, 8 figure, including some of the biggest brands. As consultants and advisors, we provide systems, tools, and coaching for the business side and really all aspects of client acquisition and retention, business optimization, and really team and leadership growth. We've been mapping this space for 15 years with a lot of people around the world in a lot of countries. So this past year has been extremely busy. We've been, very much in demand given of the COVID transitions in businesses, and we've watched this thing roll out from Asia, to UK, Europe, to US, Canada, and we've seen it come on and offline and open, not open, through a lot of countries. And we've got a lot of learnings, experience, and have been helping a lot of people navigate this time. And we've amazingly, I'm going to share some stories and case studies here, people who are doing better than ever and have transitioned the model or just evolved the model. And as they've reopened, they are in a really, really good state, having best months ever in revenue and profitability. And that's what we want to talk about with you guys, is how can we help you, reopen and grow, because we all need to grow again. And the crazy thing is the market is there, right? There's still people who want to look better, feel better, get out of pain. The market hasn't changed, but the way that business has to innovate to evolve and improve our models and our cost structures and our product lines and all the things that influence, success and sustainability and value creation for the customer and for the business. We get to rethink that in a better way. And we get to evolve to serve the world in a better way, which is why we get to stay in business. So excited to share some of that with you today. And for those who I know, a couple people in the room, a lot of you I don't know. It'd be great to just get a little, have this be interactive, and just hear a little bit about how I can best support you with some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. If you would, on the chat, just let me know, where you're from, what part of Canada are you in, would be great. And then secondly, what is your business model? Are you a boutique facility, a club? Are you multi-location, single location? A little bit about your kind of current business size or structure, that'd be great, so I can give context to the conversation today. And I'll probably ask you a few more questions as well, just so we can get the most out of this. So if you would, on the chat, just please take a moment. You don't have to come on camera. It's okay if you're not, presentable yet. But let us know in the chat where you are in Canada, and also a little bit about your business. And then also if you're open or not open, and what is the we'll go through a couple more things as we walk through this today. Okay, awesome. Okay, terrific. I'm just scrolling through the high fives for all the great news we celebrated at the beginning. All right, great. So Donna, 2 Anytime Clubs in Calgary. Awesome. Carl, multi-location club, 16 locations. Awesome. 22 large box health clubs. Great. Scott. Okay. Emily, single boutique in Calgary. Fantastic. Vancouver, big box. All right, terrific. Dance studios. Fantastic. All right, this is great. I'm just going to do a quick scroll through. I won't read all these out, or we'll be here for a while. but I love seeing all the updates, and this gives me good insight into what's going on for you right now. So I'm going to try to share some insights into the different things we've learned across different models and different size of organizations. Obviously, if you're a bigger organization, you've been dealing with more pain, right? You got more liability, more skin in the game, more to lose, and more that you've got to protect in your assets. Some of the things we'll talk about are a little different if you've got one location and a small amount of overhead. If you've got a lot and you've got real estate and equipment and a lot more on the line, then there's some different dynamics. But the overall big picture topics are the same, and we'll unpack that a little bit today. By the way, I will share a couple links as we talk today. And if we are not friends socially, then I will share this link for you here. We have a Facebook group where we deliver ongoing training and lives and resources, and we have a great collection of business owners and independent professionals from around the world. So come check us out. You can just click to say you're on the webinar with me today, and our community manager will get you in the next 24 business hours or so. And we'll get into it. So yeah, this is the group, and you'll see there's be a bunch of resources in there as you get into that side. So why are we here? We're here because this is a problem. Businesses burning cash is a problem, and we want to help you guys be sustainable. And in business, that means you got to have cash flow and you got to have profit. And the more you have, the more, not only you're rewarded for the work you've done, but you get to make an impact in the world and do things that you want to do with that capital. So we're going to talk about how to protect it and how to grow it, and what that means in this climate for the different models and structures that you guys have. And we really believe that at NPE, our big message is business education is the key to your continued success. Nobody can figure this out all by themselves. COVID is bigger than any one of us. You guys know that, and that's why you're here in this group. And we believe that the sharing, the knowledge, continue to upgrade your skill set, your acumen, invest in building superstars in your team is obviously the way to lead and create the future success. As Bo said, we've been around since 2006. We've served over 45,000 fitness businesses in 96 countries. We're a global team, so the context I'm going to talk to you about, the information today, comes from global experiences and different timelines of COVID impact, obviously, around the world. And this is essentially the big method we teach. This is actually a big year for the company in that I've been able to hand over a bunch of key roles to a new COO that's grooming into the CEO seat, and I'm able to take a step back as the visionary founder, spend a lot of time in product and IP, which is where I love to play the game best and create solutions at scale. And this is our method. I share this with you because when we talk about some of these different areas, it'll give insight to the way I think about it, the way we talk about it, of how to solve problems in business. So essentially, we help lead businesses and their teams through three things. Really getting clear about where they are right now. We got to want to assess, where your business is, just like in fitness, right? We want to assess what is our current state, what's going on. Number two, we help set the right vision and goals, critical for you, critical for your team, especially when you're rebuilding, that we can rebuild confidence. We can set goals and win. Nobody likes to feel like they're failing all the time. It's obviously a critical piece of mindset and leadership that we've got to set the tone for our teams. And then really, how do we define the right priorities? There's so many things to be done, right? In a day, in a week, in a month. How do you get clear on what's the most important thing to focus on and focus on your team? How do you officially execute that when some of these things are complicated and not easy to execute, and they involve a lot of components that we don't understand yet, and we're having to navigate, new uncharted territory in our industry? And those three things, if you can focus on those fundamental things, when you feel lost, when you feel overwhelmed, they will guide you through. Where am I now? Where am I trying to go? And what is the priority here? And how do I get this thing out the door? We talk about the fitness industry, and particularly the service side of the fitness industry. There's only three main problems you're gonna deal with in business. One is gonna be you don't have enough revenue. And revenue in fitness means clients and members. We all sell subscription model services or memberships, in addition to some one-time stuff, but we need clients and members. We got to grow that. We got to acquire more, better, and we got to help keep them around, extend their life cycle, deliver more value to keep that lifetime value engagement, and so on. Number two, once we got revenue, you get to earn the right to work on a lot more with optimization and profit, and really the business side of the shop, and how do we organize finance and cost structures and some different operational components to get the most juice out of the investments that we have. And we're always trying to improve in that area. And then the lastly being the leadership capacity of your organization. Everybody here is going to get stuck at some point and multiple points along the way because we don't have the bench of leaders that can solve problems to move the ball forward with our growth initiatives on a consistent basis. And we want to continue to be developing and have systems to develop that leadership bench in our organization. And so these are 3 steps we take with every business, regardless if it's a startup or a 8-9 figure company that we're supporting. And 3 functional areas we talk about, and I'll share a little bit. We have step-by-step really frameworks and systems for each of these 3 functional areas. And we're always kind of working with this power of 3 to 3x the business. We see these big milestones. If a number ends in 3 or 1 in business, you're pretty much going to break every system that you have in the business, and you're going to have to rebuild and evolve it to work in a better way to go to the next level. And obviously everybody's in a rebuild state now because the way we used to do business is not possible in the current climate. We're having to restructure to find a way to win. So this is our method. You'll hear me talk more about it. It's really just starting to reshape through our whole organization and world. If you're new to NP, or as you're starting to tune into the work that we do at NP and follow the work we do. And if some of you have very specific questions around your business, then I want to share this with you as well. We have a global team around the world of leaders and consultants. And if you have specific questions on your business, then I will share the link to learn a little bit more about the work we do. And feel free to reach out if we can be helpful to you. No charge, no cost. If you have questions about things you're working on, we're here to support you in navigating this time. So I'll share the link in the chat. npstrategysession.com gets you direct to our team to chat at any time. All right, so first thing we're going to talk about when we are working on rebuilding and growing is not actually go to work in marketing and sales. You don't want to start driving down the road until you make sure you got the right engine and it's tuned up in the car. And that's the most important thing that I think a lot of people we see are, it's a massive paradigm shift when we have a way that in a model we've been operating in a way we've structured the business, and our minds naturally go to, great, how do I just make this work again? And not, well, is this the right model? How do I evolve the model? What else is involved in this thing? And this is the perfect time to revisit the way you think about how you create and deliver value in the world, and certainly your capacity, your cost structures, and more that support cash profitability. That's the only way we get to stay in business. Unless you just want to burn all your capital in the ground, we need cash profitable businesses to be sustainable. So this is the problem we're talking about, and this is the first steps we want to work on when we're solving this problem. A lot of people want to go right to sales and marketing. We want to start to play the game here. And this is what we call our framework, the NP Business Optimization System. And really the 7 things that you want to be thinking about, how do you improve? Everybody has been challenged, has been, different degrees of disruption in their life, professionally, personally, right, through these times. And the most important thing out of any of these things is you. How do you work on your personal vision, your energy, your mindset, your control of your focus, your attention? You as a leader, the impact you're going to make, it starts with you every day. We all got to wake up in the morning, and we got to, put our shoes on and go to work. And we all need a place to support our own development professionally, and how we can be at our best to be the leaders and make the impact we want to have. Second is the model that you have. What is the product line? Who is the customer segment you're looking to serve? What is the capacity that you have to fulfill that? Obviously, COVID has changed a lot with capacity. We can't have big groups right now. We can't have big open spaces. like restaurants, I mean, and you guys know your unit economics, you know, much like a restaurant, you can't open with half the table full, or, half the table's full, you're going to go out of business, right? But the margin and the profit in this thing, the way you've built your model is at, after this point, right? But now you can't get there. So we have to rethink how to play the game, how to reinvent the game better to win. Rather, don't just play the same game and be frustrated you lose. And you want to change the game. And that starts in thinking about the model. And obviously the model is all built on the market. What's the number one thing we need? Clients and members, right? So it's all about them and how do we innovate to serve them better with our model. Obviously our culture, our core values, purpose, mission. For many of you, these are longstanding organizations. These haven't changed, but it's a time to reignite and rally your team around that. And certainly as you're revisiting your model, your organizational structure, your roles, your scorecards and responsibilities as you're evolving these times, all this stuff is a time to revisit and tighten up and make it more effective. Finance, we get into, when we're in choppy waters, you've got to have a really good system of how you forecast cash in the business so you can make decisions, good decisions, and the best decisions you can each day and week in the business. We call this like, driving the windshield. So many people are still, making decisions off of the rearview mirror, and the rearview mirror doesn't matter, especially in the time we're in right now. You have to learn how to, drive the windshield here, and the better you can do that, you're going to be able to navigate, the bumps in the road and the choppy water that until we've got calm seas again. Strategy, the way you're thinking about the business, the way you're thinking about the priorities of the business, the way you're solving problems in the business. That's what leaders do. We get paid to solve problems. And you got to wake up, eat them for breakfast, and do it again tomorrow. And the systems that you use to think about your business are so critical. Obviously, your operations, your SOPs, how you create efficiency with execution with the team, and the communication, right? We can do all this right, and we can fail on the 1 yard line because we're not effective in communication and alignment with other people that we need, to team. We got a team, and the better we can team and communicate with team, we can scale. So all these are critical functions that you want to be thinking about, taking inventory and finding, where you have the biggest opportunity to improve and start solving for the pain that you're experiencing right now. I'll share with you 4 questions. These are some of the questions that we spent a lot of time with a lot of businesses around the world examining the past 12 months. And these are the questions that I want to share with you to be asking yourselves and exploring with your team. And it's absolutely the time to not be held back by past paradigms. You want to be thinking about new ideas and new ways to engage. So number 1, what product and service lines have the most growth potential in your current climate specifically, right? This is even geographically based because you're going to have different laws and restrictions and timelines and opening and capacity constraints in your different areas. So what makes sense? This is not the time to be growing high volume group training programs because you're not going to do that in your facility right now. And the public is scared about going engage large groups of people. So you need to be thinking about other product lines or evolving your product lines or changing, your product line. I've worked with large company, the world's largest privately owned personal training company is a client of ours. We have a number of franchisors that are clients of ours. And we've been evolving the models to have virtual offerings of services. We've been taking even businesses that were entirely group model based and now evolving to be more semi-private model based, higher price point, also more ability to individualize the programming, more differentiation in the marketplace. Depending on where you are in Canada, you're going to see different degrees of this, but certainly in the US, in Australia, there is so much saturation with boutique, high volume, low price point group training. You might as well, F45, CrossFit, bar. I mean, you just slap another logo on the door and it's the same business model. And it's everybody competing for very often the same customer for the same price point. And it's tough to compete when it's a very crowded category. And that model's very difficult to run right now because you can't have big groups. So this is a time to really be thinking evolutions to your model. Now I recognize that's like, is going to bring up, but wait, that means everything. Yep, it's everything. That's what's on the line right now in many cases. And you guys know this already. Everything is on the line, and we got to be able to rethink and not be held back by fear or constraints. And I'll tell you, as you start working through some of these evolutions, we've seen, again, even organizations that had reached a point that they were declined or flatlined, for the last few years are now growth trends again, growth in revenue, growth in profitability. So it's a great time to start over. It's also a great time to reengage this conversation with clients, with members, with staff, because everybody knows the game has changed, right? So it's kind of not just on you. It's not like, oh, it's like, guys, this is where we're in. So it has to change. So we got to go, right? You can blame it on COVID. It's not, that it's your idea and you hope people will come along. It's that this doesn't work and this is the way we have to go. And, who's with me? If we are aligned around our purpose, values, and mission, and we're here to serve and make an impact, then everybody knows that's the conversation. Obviously, that feeds into number 2. How can you best adjust your pricing, packaging, labor costs to maximize gross profit? It's a great time if your margins have gotten weaker over the last few years. Reinvent the thing, make it better. Now's the time to tear it down and rebuild. You start with a gross profit margin first and foremost, as you want to prepare for efficient growth. The number 3, obviously, not a new conversation. You've been on this one for a while. How do you lean out expenses and improve the cost structure to increase the bottom line when you don't have as much top line? Again, we want to be thinking all of these things to change the game and change the way we're thinking about solving the problem. Lastly, cash forecasting. It's been critical. It's always critical. It's going to continue to be critical. We are in, uncharted water, and you got to have the best radar system you have, even if it's like super foggy and it's like, flying a plane or driving a boat. You can only see a little bit in front of you. You still got to extend, your ability to predict the future. And, we teach systems for that. That's something we help businesses with. And it's critical that you're making the best decisions possible to protect the future success of your business. In a business, that means cash. So 4 questions. By the way, as I'm talking through this stuff, please feel free. I mean, we've only got 45 minutes with you guys today, but post questions if you got them. If this is bringing up insights for you, things you've been working on, I'd love to hear from you on the chat. And I'll keep an eye on that as we're talking through this. I'll keep going a little bit here and just share just some examples of some case studies. I actually pulled, we have case studies from around the world, but I pulled a few from Canada specifically. These are some clients, even we met through CanFit Pro. These are 2 boutique owners in Vancouver, came to us, been operating at a loss for years, have taken the business during COVID from 19K a month to 34K a month. I recognize this is, many of you have big clubs, big operations. This is a little boutique mom and pop, but for people that have been operating at a loss for years, to grow revenue and grow profitability and get a better life during COVID, is, that's what we're talking about, right? Whether the number is 34K a month or 340K a month, or it's 1 location or it's 50 locations, it's the same thing that we're solving for. And this is the work that we've been doing with the things I'm sharing. This is another great client we met at CanFit Pro. We met her in the summer of 2019. Was running around doing boot camps in a park randomly and random clients with 0 recurring revenue. And we started to get her in a good place and got her from 0 recurring revenue to 16K recurring revenue. And then COVID hit, and we helped her evolve her model to go to online service delivery. She's now starting to have back to brick and mortar as well, and has both sides of the shop. But she's grown. She's doing now 51, her best month ever, 51K of revenue in December, and recurring is like 40, 45 now. So we've more than tripled the business in the past 12 months during COVID, and we continue to set this thing up for scale and growth in the next year. So that's number 1. Start thinking about the strategy first and foremost before you run around like a chicken with your head cut off, trying to triage this thing, try to slow down, try to take a step back, revisit the ways you're thinking about, some critical decisions that are ultimately going to determine your success and your longevity. And it's not just about how do we get back to where we were, but how do we set this thing up so we can win the next 10 years? Really, the decisions you're making now are going to determine that and determine your trajectory for the future for you and your team. Once we have a better vision for the business, and I say that's a lot. Again, it's a lot. We could be talking for a few days just on that subject right now. But at some point, when you get this thing reoriented to how you're going to go to market, what does the product look like? What are the deliverables? What's the price point? What's the packaging? What's the capacity of your organization and team? All that stuff. Then we got to start growing, right? We all have to grow revenue again, and in revenue, growth, that means sales, that means marketing, and it starts with really aligning your team. And the problem with aligning your team to, we talk about leading commitment. Really, this is what I believe the best thing we do as coaches, as leaders, as business owners, as sales professionals, as marketers. It's all the same thing. It's really leadership at scale. And how do we lead people to make a commitment to their journey, to their goals? What we sell in fitness is hard. This isn't like, sit down, I'm going to feed you a pizza, right? This is, you're going to pay me money and you're going to go through sacrifice and discipline and change your life. The hardest things to do in life. You're going to pay me to do the hardest things, and hopefully you're going to succeed. And that's going to, you're going to love that stuff, right? So we sell a hard product to move in the marketplace. It's why, cannabis shops are moving very quickly, and liquor stores are blowing up right now. And fitness is hard, right? So this is a lot of work to do. And the biggest problem in leadership, whether we're talking about sales, marketing with your team, or even yourself, the biggest problem in leadership is fear, right? Everybody's scared. The public is scared. Your team is scared. You're scared. Your wife is scared. Your husband is scared. Your kids are scared. Everybody is scared. This is scary times we're living in. Yeah, it's hard. We get it. We feel that, and we help people work through this every day. And I'll tell you, the most important thing to do when you're working through this is not just, high five it, but we have to have real systems that we can start to align our teams around, that we can get repetitions on, that we can build confidence, build momentum. What builds momentum? Is it action first or motivation first? It's very often it's the action. You guys know days you don't want to go work out. What do? You get up and you take action anyway, and you feel better, right? Same thing with our teams. We got to get them in action, and action builds momentum, builds confidence, builds belief system. And that's how you build a team that's going to change the world, and accomplish anything you want to in business. So this is our framework we call, and a lot of people, it's very difficult. We're working on different sides of the shop in business. We're working on marketing and sales and acquisition, and we put a lot of focus there, and we start moving the needle in the growth engine. And then we neglect the base, and we're not innovating on the product line. We're not tightening up services, and we start losing it in retention, right? And you guys know, in subscription model businesses, which we're all in, it is not sales and marketing over here, or services and fulfillment over here. We like to introduce the paradigm. It's all one thing, and makes it a little easier to digest if we get our team aligned around it. It's all one thing. It's really, we like to say, about knowing who is the best client or customer member for your business, and engineering the perfect journey for them, right? How do we attract, how do we convert, and how do we wow them for life? And instead of having transactional relationships with customers like the pizza shop, right, who hopes that they wake up today and hope somebody's going to go buy a pizza, and they wake up tomorrow, hope they're going to come buy a pizza again. Instead of that business, which we don't want to be in, we need to build lifetime relationships with our customers. And again, this goes back to the paradigm, on the backside. Why are they leaving? Well, because they don't see value. Why? Maybe the life cycle of your product line is dead now. You've got to evolve the product line, right? Maybe we didn't have an offering. It was only face-to-face. Now we have virtual. They move away. They can still engage you in some way. All these things that brings into question around our business strategy. But once we have the strategy, then we start working on this one thing. These are the 9 steps we teach for attract, convert, and wowing clients for life, and really building lifetime value. In subscription model businesses, it's all going to come down to two main metrics you're looking to manage. What is your acquisition cost and what is your lifetime value? And the more you can influence both those numbers, and we're always working on both of them all the time at scale, those are the two numbers in the fitness industry, right? We own those two numbers. You can do anything you want. And this is the way you're going to influence that and how you start moving these things all the time. And when you're in a rebuild mode and a growth mode, the most important thing to start with in your team is your sales process, your sales systems, your scripts, your messaging, your tools, your methodology. And you have to have people who believe they can go out and face the fear, and they can lead people through their fear. They can lead clients through their fear. They can lead prospects through their fear. They can lead each other through their fear. And collectively, it's a lot like going to war. It's scary, and you gotta go win, and you gotta come home. This is so important when we talk about leading teams and leading growth. Is how we align around our system, our methodology, and really we know where we are. We know where this fits in the client journey, and we can drill down. And we have the right KPIs and systems and tools to do that. Real quickly, this is the 7 steps we teach for sales, and it's a sales system methodology we've been teaching since 2006. It's kind of one of the things we're most known for. It's generated billions of dollars to the fitness industry now around the world, and we've just actually done some upgrades to it in the past year, because remote selling and remote selling services is now forcing us to even have better ways that we train and develop people at scale to be effective. Guys have learned having conversations and closing sales in this environment is very different than a face-to-face environment. And we have to be better. Our teams have to be better. It needs a lot of training. It needs new tools and systems and ways that we can influence this. But again, this is the same problem as there, right? People have a need, they have a desire, right? They want to solve a problem, achieve a goal. All the fundamentals are still there as we just rebuild and reconnect the ways we do this. It works, it grows. So I don't have time to dive into all these things today, but these are the 7 steps we teach, and we have methodology and scripts and personalization we help people with. And this is how the most important thing is you're rebuilding your team. Align them on sales, and it will force you many times to rework your sales system. Just like we upgrade the system because it's got to work in multiple environments now, online and offline. And the same thing is going to be the case with your team. Even if you are still selling the same product, the same way, at the same price point, they're still facing new challenges and having to lead people through fear. We have to upgrade our messaging, our scripts, train our teams on how to, the methodology and systems and handling objections, and ultimately do a great job so that there aren't objections when we go to ask for a close. We ask them to commit to their journey. So again, I won't go through all this right now, but a few more examples. Another guy, I'm going to share a lot of CanFit Pro examples. This is Rui Sareva. He's in London, Ontario. Came to us with 7 clients and 6,000 a month in revenue. He's now just over 20,000 a month, just opening a second facility as well, and starting to scale during this crazy time as we're building out these pieces of the business. Again, another boutique studio owner, really hit hard during COVID, was down to like 2,200 a month in revenue. Obviously, can't pay any bills with that, and can't buy a can of beans to feed yourself and your family. We've taken her to 12,000 a month in revenue, stable at that number, and continue to add to that each month. For a small boutique who's never done over 10 grand a month in her life, again, best month ever, life-changing, which is just incredible. This is giving, these times are giving great opportunity for people to engage in a different way. So lastly, I'm just going to finish up and with some stuff on marketing for you guys, and really messaging that inspires people to move forward. And this is a challenge we have with marketing right now, is getting attention. People are waking up and they're thinking about a lot of things in life, a lot of problems they need to solve, and a lot of things going on. Than your traditional, sign up today and save $50 offer. Or whatever offers that we've used that have worked in the past in fitness. So we have to change the conversation. We have to change the way we speak in our marketing or messaging to engage. And again, this is the system we teach for marketing, for sales, for acquisition. I will share just a couple things that are, I think, some really important low-hanging fruit as you're reimagining the world. And that's really re-examining who is, in software development, they call it the user. Who is the user I'm building for, right? I'm building the software for. Well, in fitness, and we can apply agile project management and Scrum methodologies the same way. Who is the best client or the best member that I'm really designing this experience and this business to serve? And a lot of times people, I'll tell you, through COVID, we've realized, businesses realized who they thought was their best customer is just not the best customer anymore, or there is a better customer for that business, right? And the market is not static. The market is always moving. So you have to be tuned in. You have to reorient yourself. It's kind of, I use the example of surfing, right? If I go to the beach and I paddle out with a surfboard, in Australia, the beach is like just a couple minutes away here, 5 minutes from the beach. I can't sit there and say, okay, waves, I'm ready. Come to me. I'm right here. Get the wave right under my board. That's just not the way it works, right? The ocean is always moving. The waves are always moving. I have to learn how to watch the signs, know where the waves are, know how to paddle to be at the right point in a wave to catch the wave. And if I do it right, I get to ride the wave, right? Same thing in business, same thing with the market. We don't create demand in the market. We channel demand and desire in the market. And we need to take a really good look at where is the market right now and who is the best segment that you want to serve. Especially if we're changing our model. We used to do group, and now we're going to do semi-private. And we used to have a model that worked with 300 customers in a unit boutique, and now we're going to redesign this to work with 150. Not everybody's coming with you. We're loading the the rocket ship to go off the ground here, and it's not going to be everybody if you have to make some of these decisions. But this is the evolution. Businesses have to evolve or die, and you got to decide again. Start with the who. The who is the most important thing. The who determines everything. Your unit economics, what you can sell, what price point, your margins, what your cost structure is going to be, what you need for equipment, right? What you need for staff, labor. Everything is going to be off the who. So revisiting the who is the most important thing. And it really doesn't matter, whether it's the mom who just had a baby or the C-suite executive, that's leading a massive teams, or the busy professional. These are all good markets. We see successful businesses and models that serve every segment of the population in fitness, because everybody needs what we sell, right? Everybody needs what we sell. It's just getting really clear about not trying to talk to everybody the same way at the same time. And, you've heard the phrase, there's riches and niches, right? Definitely right now, getting clear about the best customer that you want to focus on serving, that you're passionate about serving, that you want to align your brand, your business, your team, your product lines around, is really critical. And I'll share, these are the 6 questions we talk about. And I'm about out of time, coming up pretty quick. So, or I'm probably over, 5 minutes. All right. Coming in for a landing here.
Thanks,
cool.
Sean.
I will I'll share these 6 questions. You can screenshot that if you want real quick, but the questions we like to look at when you're examining your best clients, what are their desires or goals, and getting really clear about what they want. Number 2, what are their obstacles, right? What's standing in the way? And we all know there's a ton of obstacles in the world right now, and especially, for our customers. More importantly is, how do they feel about those obstacles? What are their emotions around those obstacles? Because now you can start to engage a conversation that is meaningful, that people are going to tune into. And then another layer down, as we drill down, is what is the mindset or belief they have that's holding them back? And that psychology is really critical. This psychology is what is the fuel that drives behavior, and it drives, buying behavior. It drives, marketing response. We need to know that. So, example, right? People think, there's just no time. Well, it's not that people that are fit have more than 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They've just learned how to think about time and organizing different roles they play in their life better, right? And there are tools and perspectives and thinking that we do to do that. But someone that's living in a world where they tell themselves, I don't have time, I don't have time, I don't have time, right? That's their belief, that's their reality. And we have to, as I have a great friend who's a marriage and family therapist who's German. She has a quote that's very, very great and applies to marketing and sales and leadership, is that there are no realities. There are only perspectives. And what we need to do is understand the perspective that is holding back our prospective clients or team from taking action. And the more we can understand that belief system, the more we can start to ask questions that allow them to question that belief system and see a different perspective to start to take action, even micro commitments, right? Just one step to move forward down the journey. Certainly, understanding what success looks like for them, understanding what failure looks like for them. This is all going to be things that are really important for you to bring to the table. And these are the stories of your clients are writing the story of their life every day. You want to understand that story. You want to help them understand that story, and you want to be able to, help them write a new chapter here with the work you do in your business. So I'm running out of time, so I'm going to be wrapping up here. But we could spend a whole day on we do workshops on these different frameworks. I'll tell you the next thing that is really critical, which I won't have time to dive in depth on, but is your positioning. This is a time to reposition your business, especially if you're in a very crowded category. Like I mentioned, there's market saturation. Positioning is the thing that changes everything. Quick example of that, right? I'm a personal trainer, right? What do? I program, I assess clients, I program, I deliver services, I hold them accountable, execution, provide information on nutrition, blah, blah, blah. Versus I'm a high performance coach. What do? I assess clients, same thing, right? What does the public perceive that they should be paying a personal trainer? Maybe $60 a session. What do they perceive they should be paying a high performance coach? I don't know, maybe $150, $200 a session. Are they doing anything different? No. But they've positioned what they call themselves and how we position the value proposition and what the public perceives in their brain, right? For a product or for a category or for a service offering. So, this is a time to start to reposition what you call yourself, how the world sees you. And that goes right along with this differentiation, purpose, credibility. All of these things are critical for us to redefine the positioning of our business for the best segment of the market we want to serve. And this is high level, like CMO hat stuff of your business that every business gets to a place where, this stuff is just really disjointed. And the key to scaling your business is to simplify with marketing, simplify your messaging to grow. And the more we can tighten up each of these areas, we start to create messaging that scales, from 1,000 to 10,000 a month, to 10,000 to 100,000 a month, from 10 million to 100 million. This is the stuff that really starts to move the needle. And it looks simple. It's really takes a lot of thought and dedication. And then when it's all done, it's like, oh yeah, it makes sense, easy, right? We did a lot of work to figure that out. But this is a framework that can guide you in that process. So I'm going to be wrapping up today. More great success stories of people we've helped. This is a cool business that they serve mobile personal training to seniors. What are you going to do in COVID? Going to seniors' houses with mobile services? That doesn't work. We did a great innovative thing in that they leased 50 iPads and for simple cash flow, and they dropped these at everybody's door. And now grandma can connect live with her trainer to keep moving, because grandma's got to keep moving or she's going to be in pain and go down the hill fast being sedentary. And now grandma can also talk to all the grandkids because she didn't have an iPad before. And these guys have rebuilt revenue. They're growing again, and they're doing great stuff to navigate these times. This is another business in Vancouver, has gone from all offline to completely online, and preparing for reopening again. And again, new record months of revenue, 37K a month, great margins in the business. Really, really cool stuff. Susie is a former ballerina and has a studio called the Ballet Lounge. So summary for you guys on this is, think about how you play the game before you start to play the game. Start choosing those product and service lines with growth potential. Think about your gross profit. Think about cash forecasting. Use that to make good decisions. These are all critical things we want to start to lead ourselves better in decisions we're going to make. Number two, align your team to lead people through fear. That is the most important thing, is to lead through fear. That's where you're going to make an impact and difference in people's lives. And third is work on your positioning, work on your message, get really clear about who you're talking to and how to tell a better story for your business and how to help people see a better story for themselves by doing business with you. That's what it's all about. So I'll wrap it up here. And hopefully we inspired you with some stories today. Hopefully some of these thoughts you can bring to your teams and you can apply to the things that you're doing. And if you'd love to, if you like anytime questions, things that we do, want to find out more about how we help businesses grow, then please, link is in the chat here. Reach out anytime, and we look forward to helping you. If I have a couple minutes, I'll be happy to do any Q&A, Mo or Natalie. But yeah, it's great speaking with you guys today.
Well, thank you, Sean. I am going to jump in before Natalie closes off today's session. We did have a quick, we had a question here from Katrina could you share a success story? What has been working in the reopening of a large box model? Do you have a quick story there?
Yeah, that's the toughest one, right? You got a lot of overhead. You need a lot of people, and it's the hardest one. And the more you're invested, the harder it is to flip that around. And I'll tell you, but at the same time, it's the same story. We have to, exactly what I told you. You have to re-engineer your product lines. You're gonna have to go heavy on service revenue. You're gonna need bigger ticket stuff that you can climb the ladder quickly, because it's going to take a long time to rebuild core base. And before you can, not even just the government lets you have people in there, but before people are comfortable, at scale, and before all those members that, we're not even coming in, but we're still members and feeding the pot, that's going to be a long time. And we want to, have a plan of not where we got to make, thousands of transactions to get back to cash flow positive, but we need hundreds of transactions to get back to cash flow positive. So really reimagining your product lines and start to put different focus and emphasis on things that have high ticket, high margin, and we can specialize is how we got to re-engineer the business. So I say that, it's a big conversation. There's a lot to explore and unpack in that. But it's where you're going to have to win. Now, here's the good news. Here's what I'll tell you is where the businesses that are doing this are winning quickly, is because the public that's been pent up, demand, sitting at home, opening up the fridge every 5 minutes, ordering Uber Eats and watching Netflix, they are not feeling good right now. And this is a really important time. They're willing to invest in their transformation because they want to get back to feeling better, to being on track. So people who just, I'll do a membership and go to a couple classes, they'll be willing to throw down a few $1,000s for services now and to accelerate their success path with health and fitness. So now is the time to be making these pivots, because the market is ready, and we're seeing this as markets reopen and areas reopen, that it's like boomtown. People are ready to buy, but you got to be ready to sell, and you got to be ready to serve, and you got to have different ways that you're going to engage and solve these problems in the market.
Thanks, Sean. I don't know if Mo wanted to close off anything, or she's taking notes. If everybody knows Mo, she's taking notes. No big
Taking
surprise.
notes.
I'll let her keep taking notes. Thank you so much, Sean, for getting up at some ungodly hour on the other side of the world and coming to us today with all of this. This has been recorded for anybody that either had to pop off or anybody who wants to listen to it again. And as usual, we will be sending you the recording very shortly. Thank you very much to Mo and the team at CanFit Pro for putting this together. The generosity of that is very appreciated by everybody at FIC. If you guys want to reach out to Sean, you know how to do that now. Thank goodness. I'm sure there's a lot of questions that'll come after today. I've seen a lot of the chat come through of like the wheels are turning. So that's fantastic. And if there's anything else, you guys can reach out. Like we said, we'll send it by email. And we are hoping that everybody has a fantastic, safe couple of weeks. Back to the provincial calls next week, because there's a lot going on. And we will see everybody everybody in 2 weeks for the updates, as well as finding out what's happening federally with the government, the efforts that we're making there, as well as in each and every province. So soyez prudents, stay safe, everybody. Have a fantastic weekend.
Take care, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Sean. Thank
My
you,
pleasure.
everybody.